All right, what's up, everyone? Happy, what are we at? Oh, it's only Monday.
Monday.
That's all right. It's all good. Monday is good. Um, yeah, I have some updates. The weekend was nice. I have an amazing new associate that I'm very excited about. So I'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But so I had a pretty busy last week and so far this week. So gonna keep chugging along. But right now, super excited to introduce and reintroduce Dr. Lior in the group because I mean you've been making a lot of noise in the dental world, and the crazy part is at the pace you are moving with the dental app. I've never seen anything like this in the ever. I mean, really ever. I mean, forget dentistry. Like forget dentistry for a second. I'm talking about any product and service that I've used in my life or product and service that I'm aware of. Like nothing moves as fast as the dental app has been moving. I mean, you've been keeping me updated literally every single week, every few days. You're like, hey, we're introducing this, we're introducing that. And the coolest thing about all of this is that whatever you're going to talk about in tonight is really the first time you're discussing this. So
Yeah, that's
this
really
dig
exciting.
group brings you the latest and the greatest updates from the dental app for the first time ever. And these are huge updates. I mean, these are nothing small to blink at. I mean, these are some big updates that is going to make people's lives so much easier. There are obviously a lot of doctors already using dental app, but there are obviously a lot more offices that are just like, you know, kind of on the sidelines. They're trying to figure out like they want to move to cloud. They're trying to figure out like what is the best cloud software out there? What is the best cloud PMS out there that's going to make their life easy, that's going to make their life more efficient, give their team members tools to really do their best. And when I look at all of these features and you look at it whether individually or as a whole, literally nothing beats the dental app.
Yeah, I think as we get deeper and deeper into the product development, and we've also taken kind of a different approach. It's essentially our goal is to partner up with best in class partners also, which allows us to kind of move forward at a really fast pace by just providing deep integrations. But at the end of the day, our goal is to become customizable, easy to use, reliable, and just overall a seamless experience. We've talked a lot about our onboarding process and how we're one of the only, if maybe the only solution in the industry that we currently will transfer over everything, including your ledgers. So we convert over accounts receivable, ledgers, insurance payments, reporting, match all that up, and that's been just one of the big wins for us. Where we do that currently for Dentrix and Open Dental, and are deep in the weeds with EagleSoft. We'll have EagleSoft before the end of the year in the same fashion. Um, but yeah, I got some really exciting updates. These are things we've been working on for a few quarters now. We're announcing everything here. We got a new startup package we're announcing, some really exciting partnerships. I guess we should just start at the top. So even the doctors on our platform haven't seen some of this stuff yet. So I'm sure that'll come up in the comments. But this stuff is all about to roll out, and wanted to kind of get it out there, and obviously just update the community as a whole. Like as we make progress, our goal is to kind of fill people in and show them there's a lot of feature requests that have come through. So just trying to get everyone updated.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of companies that we work with in the group and they're part of the dental app now. So it's pretty cool to see, all of that coming together coming together. One of my favorite human beings is Kevin from Mango, and he is just on top of everything, making sure the rollout from Mango Voice to Mango AI, it's just been one of the coolest features out there, and you're integrating that in the dental app.
Yeah, so it's live officially, and I'll show you that too. So that's pretty cool. But let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'll start off talking about things that are native to our app. So we rolled out payments. I'll just highlight them. So payments is essentially live. So now our offices can get essentially these terminals, and then be able to charge payments. Payments post directly into the chart. So that's really nice. One of the things that we also include is the ability to pass along the credit card processing fee. So like the whole cash discount concept. So if you're an office that passes that along, you'll be able to toggle that, and it'll write back to the chart both the 3.5% or 3%, whatever it is, and the actual charge, so you can keep track of that separately. Um, we have a new or like treatment plan picker customization. So a lot of our offices that we work with either have specialties that come in, or we've had offices that are specialty only and they want a completely different treatment plan picker. So now you can actually build multiple different treatment plan pickers and then customize your explosion codes. So I'll show you that. Um, we are working with Verific on pulling in their insurance verification kind of translated data or standardized data. And so, in preparation for that, we have completely revamped our insurance kind of verification input. So now you can customize or create, different parameters in any which way. And that was something that we weren't as robust in, and now it's like completely customizable. So it's very, very robust. And then I'm going to show you our AI bot, which is kind of like an AI coach, where all the content that I've written over the last decade, some other really amazing people in the industry, they've also contributed content. We're essentially included that into the platform. So now you can ask it questions on how to improve different things about your practice and so on. And it'll spit that out. And then I'll show you some of the partnerships also that are going live. So that's kind of the big update. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And can you see my screen?
Yeah. And I'll just say, don't tune out, because at the end of this, you're going to talk about the pricing, which is
Startup package.
like
That's really it.
unbelievable, how unbelievably good. So
Yeah.
these features are so comprehensive, so good, so easy to use. You just showed them to me like literally 10 minutes ago, and I was like, holy shit, like these things, all these features are the things that, us dentists kind of wish some of these other PMS systems had. But the fact that you're listening to that feedback and actually implementing it and actually rolling it out is a huge plus, huge win for the dental app.
Totally. So I'm going to actually start off right here in the App Store. So we've added a bunch of new players in our App Store. So one of them is Finix. That's going to be our payment processor. And essentially, you can order these terminals. Once you onboard that, I'll show you how the payments work. DentLogix, this is an amazing company that they provide a CE and training platform. So there's like a lot of states that require things like sexual harassment training and HIPAA compliance training and so on. So DentLogix is a platform where you could sign up for that. We have a negotiated rate with them for our offices, and then seamlessly like have your entire team get all the CE training that they want. And it's really aggressively priced. And then the third one that I'll talk about a little bit is Jellyfish. So Jellyfish is kind of a business intelligence tool that a lot of DSOs or multi-office groups use. They typically use like Jarvis or Jellyfish. So we finally rolled out our integration with them. So now they can pull all our data and build out like pivot tables. So if you're trying to do more sophisticated analytics or reporting than what we provide in our native experience, that's provided there. But let me just walk you through. We'll start off with payments. So now when you're doing payments, you can essentially go right into the patient's chart, into the ledger. You specify that it's an in-person payment. You're going to select the terminal, and then plug in the dollar amount, specify the provider. You can do splits, like if it's implant, abutment, and crown, and the implant is done by the oral surgeon, or the abutment and crown are done by the GP, or however you may be splitting it. Essentially, you set it all up, send it to the terminal, and then you're going to hear this noise in the background. We're going to go ahead and charge the card. And it gets posted automatically here to the chart.
That's incredible. And
Yeah,
it's automatically synced.
it's automatically synced, and then that then you could print out the receipt, automatically goes right into the patient chart. There's no writing back and forth. And again, you don't need to use that, but it's been one of the big features that's been requested. From here, we're moving that to text to pay, bulk statements. So you'll be able to like text all the statements and then have people pay directly through a link. So all that is kind of the next iteration of that. But as of now, that is live and ready to go. So that was the first big update. The second update is this whole treatment plan picker. And I'm actually going to show you. So you can build out custom treatment plan pickers that you can customize. So under settings, if you go to clinical, you can have different treatment plan pickers. So one could be like the main one that you use. And then for demo purposes, I built one out like a pediatric one and a periodontal one. So for example, if we go into pediatric, you can have different categories and then add your different options and also build out multiple options combined in one. So you could do the explosion codes. And then when you're in the patient chart, you can obviously select the tooth that you want to treatment plan on. So this is the main picker, but then you can say, hey, I want to see the pediatric picker. So maybe it's like a wisdom tooth related option. So we could say, these are soft tissue impacted, and then add those. And then let's say you want to go here, and now you want to use your main picker, and we'll do a crown. So now you can essentially build out different treatment plan pickers. So for offices that are doing like all on X or have specialties that come in, or you can completely change your main picker to be pediatric. If you're a pediatric only office, you can essentially build that and customize all that to work to your needs. So you're no longer filtering through fillings if they're not relevant to you, or implants if those are not relevant to you. So you kind of have the ability to fully customize that. Um,
That's awesome.
so there's that. I'm going to show you real quick the new insurance benefits. So this is again, this is in preparation for our partnership with Verific. If people aren't aware of Verific yet, they are building out. It's like part AI, part crowdsourced insurance verification. So being able to, I think they provide like a 123 point breakdown with details like if downgrades and upgrades and age limits and so on. And before, we kind of had a more rigid system where you couldn't add different exclusions or waiting periods. But now we've made it so it's completely customizable. You can go into the plan, and then you can add, any type of benefit. So, for example, diagnostic, you could say that there's a deductible for diagnostic, or it's a exclusion for diagnostic, or there's a frequency limitation, and you can build these much more comprehensive insurance breakdowns. And then obviously that will inform our treatment plan estimates. So, like once you plug all this in, it'll calculate treatment plan estimates in a much more accurate way. But the nice thing about it is once we plug into Verific, there'll be an app in the App Store. What'll be really sweet about that is you'll be able to get a much more comprehensive insurance breakdown. So, currently there's a bunch of different ways to do it. We include in our own app, we include like a integration with Dental Exchange, but that's really limited to the data that they provide. And then there's companies like Verific that have a lot of technology. They're plugging in multiple APIs, but they also have teams of people that are making phone calls. Their different offices are crowdsourcing information. All that's going to be pulled in directly into the dental app and provide much more accurate treatment plan estimates that way. So this is the work that we did around that, and something that offices have requested for a long time.
And you had mentioned you can even customize how you want the breakdown to look, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this whole entire interface got revamped to kind of accommodate all those additional data points, and then you can uh, obviously plug this in, manage policies at a higher level, update benefits across multiple policies. You can now add free-handed notes. You can have multiple people attached to a policy. And it's just much more customizable and kind of robust. So that was the big update there. Um, I'm going to show you Mango AI. So for those of you guys that don't know about Mango AI, what Mango's software does is it'll actually listen to the phone call and summarize it and then provide a sentiment analysis. So, if you're plugged into Mango in the dental app, once a phone call comes in, this little button hovers over or blinks, and you can essentially click on it and then see who is the person that's calling, and then you can get AI summaries on existing phone calls. So let's say this phone call had happened, and here's the summary: patient verified the new scheduled time for their appointment, and then the sentiment was positive. So I know that that's been something that offices have really wanted to have. Because it's hard to keep track of every single phone call that's out there and making sure that your team um, is actually staying on top of it and having proper communications. So now that writes right back to the chart. So that's one of the really exciting updates. And then I'm going to show you our new AI bot. So I kind of mentioned this, but essentially over the last decade, I've written a bunch of books on marketing, troubleshooting your practice, best practices to kind of manage your office performance. So this is how offices get in touch with us for things like support. But now with the bot, you can go ahead and ask questions that you may want coaching on. So you could say, "Hey, Dilly, my collections are lower than usual this month. What should I be doing?" Um, and then it's been trained on all this, essentially proprietary information that we've written all this content around, and it's going to provide you more insights or more tips on what to do. And we actually posted this in the bot itself. We posted that in the Dental Success Network or Dental Success the group. And we had a lot of great feedback on it that the advice was very similar to some of the advice that these doctors had received from top-notch consultants. So we're super excited about that, and that's included right into the product. Um, you can ask it to write you emails that then you can use in our CRM. Excuse me. So that's a super exciting update for us. Um, and then the last one I'm going to show you, and this is really exciting. This is in partnership with Soda Cloud, which is by far the premier imaging solution in the industry.
Mhm.
They finally rolled out CBCT support. So now, once you take a CBCT, you can upload that CBCT right into the cloud. And then I'm going to show this to you in real time. So opening up a CBCT takes approximately the same amount of time that it does to open it up on your regular computer, about 20 seconds. But once it pulls up, you can now view your CBCT. You can do your measurements. You can mark your arches. You can measure for implants. And then what's really cool is you can share this directly with other offices. So, for example, if you're a GP, you're taking CBCTs, you want to share that with your oral surgeon, you can share it directly, and you no longer need to burn a CD or Dropbox it or things like that. The Without having a subscription to Soda Cloud, the specialist or the other doctor can log or can access this if you share it this way. And so now this is kind of the nail in the coffin for for servers, because now that you have the CBCT in the browser in the cloud, it really defeats the purpose of having a server. There's really no need. Um, so those are kind of the big major updates in our product. I talked about some of the partnerships, so like the DentLogics and the Jellyfish that rolled out as well. But yeah, that was a really busy Q1 for us. And we're super excited for some of the updates coming up that we've already hit the ground and are working on.
Yeah,
But
and these are not small updates. I mean, this is a big deal. Like to accommodate and to implement all of that stuff into your software it's a lot of work. And you're obviously still a full-time practicing dentist and you're doing all of this full time. So I can't even imagine how you keep up with all of this stuff. But to take the feedback you get from doctors and actually implement that into real life situations like this, that's such a big deal.
Yeah, so I'm actually down to working 3 days a week now. So I spend more and more time on the dental app, and that's becoming more of kind of the main event for me. The team's grown out a lot, so our support team has grown. We have additional support team in Florida, sales team in Texas, engineering and support in Louisville, and then design and additional like claims training onboarding here in San Mateo, California. So we're kind of across the different time zones, and I just split my time trying to meet doctors, going to conferences, and obviously help push the product forward.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. And this update from Soda, it's huge. Dustin showed this to me about couple months ago, a month and a half ago, and we knew like this something like this was just inevitable that it was going to happen. But the fact that it's so seamless, that is just a huge plus for Soda. And to implement that in the dental app, it's even bigger because now when people, especially for new doctors that are looking they're doing startups that are really just trying to figure out like what is the best software for me. It's truly a no-brainer. And we're going to talk about this in just a few minutes. The cost of running multiple different softwares does start to add up. I mean, it's, especially for a startup, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend every month. And you're trying to get started with all this. You're trying to take a look at your student loan payments every month. You're trying to look at what it's going to cost me for employees. I mean, there's just so many expenses that come about when you start a practice. You made this so extremely affordable. I mean, it truly feels like you're just kind of giving it away. You literally are just giving
Yeah,
it
so
away.
we
I mean,
we I think you're kind of alluding to the starter package that I was telling you. So,
yeah.
one of the things that I've been working very closely with many startups, and I did a de novo, so I've been in those shoes. I know what it's like, and then hearing kind of the challenges that they faced. I really wanted to put something together that would make it just a no-brainer and easy to move forward. So, we're officially announcing our startup package here with you. Our startup package is so our regular pricing is $399 a month,
Mhm.
and that includes um, pretty much all the different parts of the system. So it includes insurance claims, automatic reminders. Now you can sign up and do your payment processing. It includes the Dilly bot. You can plug in all the third-party integrations. Once you add imaging, that jumps up to $599 a month. So all in, you're essentially $600 a month. That's your full-blown system. That's still way ahead or way less expensive than the competition for pretty much any other provider out there. I know, like for example, there's some that start at closer to 1,000 and go even higher than that. Once you add multiple doctors, they're charging you per seat. In the dental app, it's unlimited seats, mandatory two-factor authentication. You get your own virtual server, so your own dedicated resources, automated backups, all the features that you saw.
Yeah. And just
That's
real quick, I don't want doctors to take the two-factor authentication lightly because I think that's a huge plus because the way things are with security and all that, having that 2FA is such a big deal. So,
totally. It's actually really interesting. We had an office that we were in the process of onboarding, and in the middle of onboarding, they were having an attack on their server. So the nice thing about two-factor authentication, and by the way, it's not just two-factor authentication; it has to be two-factor authentication by device because if you have two-factor authentication to your account and then someone gets one of your devices and or tries to log into your account and you've authenticated for 2 weeks, then they'd be able to log in. So it's really important to be able to require authentication for your laptop and then your iPad and then it gets a little annoying sometimes when you have to keep authenticating, but there's no better way to keep your stuff safe.
mhm.
So that's our regular pricing. For startups, we are doing a deal. It's $250 for the first year. So that
Wow.
brings you to and by the way, we give up our rev share with Soda Cloud. So our rev share is essentially 20% for the first year. So it's $40. So if you factor in our the rev share that we give up, so if you do Soda Cloud imaging, it comes out to $160 a month, plus the $250 a month. You're coming in at $410 a month for pretty much your entire tech stack for startups. Now it's important, it's got to be a startup with no data conversion. So it's got to be like a complete de novo startup. But for the first year, we're going to pretty much give the product away for free. It's just covering our basic costs, and just giving you a no-brainer, an easy win, to get onboarded and get started, where you kind of have all your best practices in place from day one.
Yeah. And do you mind if I take you back to kind of the starting days in terms of like for those that don't know, so we talked a lot about the updates today, but for those who don't know what the dental app is, will you just kind of go back to it's some of the basic and some of the core features of the dental app?
Yeah, do you want me to share my screen and kind
Yeah,
of
yeah, for
through
sure.
that? Okay, so the dental app is comprehensive cloud-based software. It essentially includes, let me close this out here. But what really sets us apart is we've done two things. We've kind of consolidated all the different tools that you need. So, in the dental app, you have two-way text messaging, you have your automated reminders, you have reputation management. We plug into Dental Exchange, so you have like a full-blown claims dashboard where you can actually submit claims, add attachments, and so on. You have a full-blown CRM built in, and that's probably one of the biggest differentiators is that um, historically, if you're working in any sort of business outside of dentistry, there's this concept of a CRM. So a CRM essentially stands for customer relationship management, and that's really never been applicable to dentistry. So being able to kind of segment and refine and find patients, and then do text message campaigns, email campaigns, keep track of patients with outstanding treatment. You have essentially now a tool to do all of that. You can set up all your automated reminders, reputation management. You have electronic prescriptions, you have all your clinical tools, and then we have things like integrations for imaging. So kind of like what I showed you with Soda Cloud, where now you can take intraoral photos, you can take bite wings, PAs, you can upload your CBCTs. So it pretty much covers the entire gambit. You also have analytics built in. So you have a analytics suite where you can get a month to date, and you can kind of dive deeper, and see how new patients are affecting your business, how existing patients, what are the top treatments that you're doing, revenue cycle management. You kind of have all that plugged in, and then you have a reporting system. So it's a fully comprehensive, built out cloud-based practice management software. And our biggest differentiators, again, that we've included this CRM concept, or what we refer to as the PRM.
Yeah, that's great. I wanted to ask you a couple questions. You said there is a way to send electronic prescriptions, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. Does it use a platform that it integrates with?
Yeah, so we plug in with DX Script. So DX Script is it's a company that's been around for about 30 years. They're actually really big in the medical industry. And so once you have that plugged in, so you can essentially we help you onboard them. It's part of the App Store. So kind of like how I showed you earlier, you can go in, you add your credentials. Once you've been approved, you click a button, and then it opens up their dashboard, and it pulls all the patient information in, and you can submit all your, all the prescriptions that way. So that's an extra, I think it's $35 a month. So that adds a little bit of cost, but that's
Yeah,
complete.
that's reasonable because I think I currently pay 45 to $50 a month for mine, and yeah, that stuff adds up. But it's a necessity. It's a convenience.
Exactly.
And some states are just basically requiring you to use ERX from now on, so it's nice to have that. A question from a group member is, what are the conversion fees, and which PMS systems will you convert from?
So currently we convert the best conversions we have are for open dental and dentrix. We charge $1,500 for the conversion. Um, we have run specials in the past where we've waived that conversion fee. It it's just at some point, we've gotten really busy at this point. We just have to continue to hire engineers to help out with that. So we try to keep it pretty reasonable.
Mhm.
But currently, those are the two main ones that we convert. EagleSoft is probably 65% done. I
Mhm.
think that sometime in Q3 we'll be able to really start doing EagleSoft conversions, and those are the ones that we prioritized. I mean, we have done more like custom conversions for smaller systems where we pull in, like we've done some work for Curve, pulling in from Curve, Practice Works, but we're doing much more basic conversions. So for Open Dental and Dentrix, though, we're plugging in, probably the biggest game changers that we actually pull in all of your financial information, match up the reporting, match up the ledgers, match up the accounts, match up the reporting, the AR, and that's really nice because historically you've had to use, that old system and the new system because everything gets zeroed out. Um, so that's been a really nice, um, you know, I guess thing that we do that's pretty differentiated. But yeah, those are the two main ones that we have at the moment.
Cool, man. Thanks so much for doing this. Before I let you go, will you just discuss the monthly fees one more time for starter practices, the special that you have, and also for practices that are possibly looking to switch from, Open Dental or Dentrix?
Sure. So for startup packages, it's just 250 a month for the first 12 months. Then it bumps up to the standard 399 fee.
Mhm.
Uh, and we pass along the savings from SodaCloud. So all in between imaging and the dental app, you're in for $410. So
Nice.
that's the startup offer. For everyone else, it's 399 a month. And we're locking that price in. So anyone that signed up with us, we're locking that price in. I know there's been questions about like, or there's been comments like, oh, I'm sure that price is going to go up. Like with Bob D, we agreed to lock that in for 10 years, but unless anything changes in terms of like infrastructure and costs like that, we don't see any reason to bump that price up. So
Yeah.
we're kind of offering this 399. Same thing with Soda Cloud. If you do Soda Cloud, it's typically 199. We're passing along the savings there. So your first year you get it in for $160. And then you have all the add-ons like Mango. You're paying for phone lines anyway, but they're extremely reasonably priced. They charge a little bit extra for Mango AI, so it's kind of set up so it's a la carte. You can pick and choose what you want, plug and play through the App Store, and it all works really seamlessly.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that when you're paying, even when you're paying 399 a month, that includes your support for the practice management system, all the cloud storage, all the backups, all of that stuff. That includes your analytics. So you're truly getting a package that has anything and everything you would need. But then you need services like a phone service. So that's where Mango comes in. You're going to need an imaging software. That's where Soda comes in. So there's all these things that you're talking about, even people that have on-prem software, they're going to need those services. So
Yeah, totally.
really
And
from,
look, our goal is to like, I think we've been really good about prioritizing the things that offices need the most and trying to dial those in. Like one of the big efforts this year is going to be revisiting analytics, making them more robust so you can segment by provider. Rolling out more automation around the CRM. We're looking at marketing attribution. So we have a bunch of things in our pipeline that we're trying to work towards and kind of bring to market. But yeah, the whole idea is that you have one solution. It plugs into all the best in class systems that you need in addition to that. But it's not, but the core competency of the dental app solves for pretty much 90% of what you need to run your practice. It's, your clinical, your insurance claims, basic insurance verifications included. You have a seamless integration with imaging. You have email campaigns, marketing campaigns, automatic reminders, reputation management, reporting, analytics. You have now Dilly, our AI bot, which is there to kind of help you if you, essentially we've taken all of our content and made that applicable. It plugs into Mango. It's pretty much a full stop shop for everything you need to run your practice.
yeah, no, that's great, man. Thanks so much for doing this. I feel like the value you offer for this is second to none. It truly is one of the best out there. So thank you for offering this and really just making something that people want. You listen to people's feedback and you make it happen. So that's a big win in my books.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. And appreciate you, appreciate the community, and onwards and upwards.
Cool, man. Thanks so much. Have a good night, everyone.